So I've been thinking a lot about this idea of getting better. You know, my mom recently has taken up violin. She's been playing music for years and years and years. She's an incredible pianist. She's, done that her whole life. And recently, now at 70, has picked up the violin, and at a number of points, talking to me, has, expressed like, I don't know how I should feel. I don't know what to do. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I have this beautiful instrument. I'm talking to all of these people who are so much better than I am, and I don't deserve to be part of the conversation. I'm not that good, and I never will be. And it comes up during these conversations. She recognizes it. She gets, that she's being hard on herself, but it always comes up, this idea of like, what does it mean to get better? What does it mean to be the best? Because truthfully, getting better just means you're doing better than you were the day before, a week before, a month before, whenever. Like some period of time you have made some level of progress. As a musician, like my intonation's better, I'm playing better, I'm playing faster, I'm more accurate, whatever. But being the best, or thinking about yourself as like, I need to be the best. I need to be on par with the best, the people who are doing this better than anybody else. That is really exhausting. Not just as a creative, as a musician, as a writer or artist or whatever. Like, it's exhausting as a human being to have that pressure on yourself and feel that pressure that I need to be living my best life, that I need to be doing better than anybody else, or at the very least, like I need to be doing the best for where I am right now. If you're age 25, 30, 40, 50, that you need to be doing this level of good, or you are bad. You're doing it wrong. You failed. And social media doesn't help. It's like a scoreboard, effectively, that you're constantly measuring against, where you just have a grid of people's best moments always hitting you in the face and showing you that, your life, it's not all that great. Look at them. Look at where they're going. Look at the adventures that they're on, the things that they're achieving. And it makes it very hard to feel like anything that you're doing in your day-to-day is all that worth it. And don't get me wrong, like there is good in striving to be the best. If we didn't have people who tried to be the best in the world at a sport, at a science, whatever, we wouldn't have so many of the things in our lives that we take for granted. But having that perspective on every aspect of your life, or having that pressure on things that you enjoy, can be incredibly tough, and can make it not only so you don't enjoy the thing that you're trying to do, but that you don't feel like you're capable of doing anything at all. And the truth is, like, being the best is not possible all of the time. Like, because the best implies that you are better than everybody else. And depending on what it is, like, better by whose standards? If you want to be an author, for instance, a published author, you want to be the best published author who sells all of the books and has the best ratings. That requires so many more layers than just you. Like, you can write and be an incredible writer, like, that goes up against the greats, and everybody undoubtedly sees that you have talent. But to do well as a published author, for instance, like, you have to convince a publisher of that, an agent of that, an editor, all of the readers. You have to have all of these people open all of these gates and crown you that title all at the same time. And that isn't something that you can necessarily control. Maybe everything lines up. Maybe you're really rich and you have all of the money and you can line that up. I don't know. But in most cases, for most people, that's not something you can really control. You just have to be along for the ride and control the things that you can control. And I think that that's the core of it. Being the best is not something that you can control. You can't control what other people think about you. You can't control how well somebody else is doing. The only thing that you can really control, as cheesy as it sounds, is you. How well are you doing? How well are you improving? How, much better are you getting on a day-to-day basis, week to week, whatever your interval is? And that's where this idea of being better than you were before comes from. It's a thing that you can actively set a goal on and achieve. If you're a writer, if you're an author, like having the goal to say, hey, I'm going to write a little bit more every single day. That's achievable. You can say, I'm going to write 50 words today. Tomorrow, I'm going to write 60 words, then 70 or whatever. Or, you don't have that time to be able to do it every day. Then it's, I'm going to write 300 words this week. Next week, I'm going to write 500. And you can set these micro goals to make it so that you're achieving new things. Same thing for quality. Thinking about myself as a writer, like one of my goals a lot of times is like, I can't always control what a client likes or doesn't like or what their opinion is going to be on this thing, whatever. But, I can set a modest goal of like, I'm going to, just on a net average, I'm going to try to get more things approved on the first pass rather than the second. Whereas before, the goal may have been, I'm going to try to get things on the second pass before it makes it to a third. And like that is something that you can work toward. It's something that you can build up over time. And again, it's not that you can't strive to be the best, that you can't try to win the award and do the big thing, but it's the small steps that add up over time. Those are the things that make the biggest difference. And those are the things that actively make you a better artist, a better writer, a better dad, father, parent, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with going after the big achievement, the big goal, the big award, whatever. But the problem with being the best too is that you have to maintain that. You have to continue to be the best to be the best. I don't know. That was a weird way of trying to say that, but it's true. Like, most people are not the best for long, much less forever, and maybe your goal is just like, I want to be the best for a minute, but most people who have that drive, they want to be the best forever. And it's an unsustainable way of existing. Whereas like taking small steps, doing things in increments, that's something that improves you over time. And even if you never become, the best writer, you're a stronger writer. You're able to tackle challenges better than you were before. You're able to be a better coworker, a better partner, a better collaborator than you were before because you've built these skills that maybe you didn't have. So yeah, if you want to be the best in the world, go for it. If you have the tenacity, you have the follow through, you have the resources available to shoot for that, by all means, go ahead and do it. But thinking about myself, for instance, like I'm under no illusions that I'm going to be the best at anything. And that's okay, because I am good at a lot of things and I'm proud of my skills in a lot of areas. And the thing that I want to do is be better every day. I want to be a better writer. I want to be a better YouTuber, speaker. I want to be a better dad, husband, friend. And those are things that I can strive to. Those are things that I can make small, meaningful bits of growth and then look back on in a year, 5 years time and say, whoa, I've come a long way. And that's really meaningful because instead of comparing yourself to everybody else and thinking, wow, I am not living up to the reality that they're putting forth, you're comparing yourself to yourself. And that's an area that you can continue to see growth and move in new ways. So yeah, stop comparing yourself to everybody else. Social media, bad? Question mark? I don't know. But just make steps, make plans, make goals to try and, do your thing better. Be kinder to yourself and, give yourself the opportunity to build up and look back and be proud of the things that you've done.